Hellcat vs Mustang GT. Two American muscle cars. Two completely different mindsets. One built to dominate with raw, brutal power. The other engineered to win with balance, control, and precision. This is not just a horsepower comparison. This is philosophy versus philosophy. Chaos versus control. And today, we're breaking it all down. Let's start with what these cars represent. The Dodge Hellcat is America's middle finger to subtlety. It doesn't whisper. It doesn't apologize. It screams. The Mustang GT, on the other hand, is the evolution of muscle. Still aggressive. Still emotional. But refined, sharpened, and engineered to perform beyond straight lines. Same country. Same muscle car DNA. Completely different execution. Now let's talk numbers, because this is where the Hellcat kicks the door open. Under the hood of the Hellcat sits a supercharged 6.2-liter Hemi V8. Factory output: around 707 horsepower, and in newer versions, even more. Torque comes in violently, instantly, and without mercy. Press the throttle, and the car doesn't ask questions. It just launches. The Mustang GT runs a naturally aspirated 5.0-liter Coyote V8. No supercharger. No forced induction drama. Just pure mechanical rev-happy aggression. Horsepower sits around 450 to 480, depending on the year. On paper, that looks like a massive disadvantage.
But here's the thing, the Mustang doesn't try to win with brute force. It wins with how it uses that power. And this is where the story changes. The Hellcat is heavy. You feel it the moment you turn the wheel. Wide body. Massive tires. A presence that feels more like a muscle-bound bodybuilder than a boxer. In a straight line, nothing in this class wants to race a Hellcat. From a dig, it's terrifying. From a roll, it's a freight train. But physics doesn't care about horsepower. When the road starts to bend, the Hellcat starts to negotiate instead of dominate. The Mustang GT, meanwhile, feels lighter, sharper, more alive. Steering feedback is clearer. Weight transfer feels predictable. You don't fight the car, you work with it. On twisty roads or track days, the Mustang begins to shine. This is what precision really means. The Mustang GT isn't about shock and awe. It's about confidence. About trusting the chassis. About knowing exactly where the front end is pointing at all times. You can push it harder, longer, and with more control. Now let's talk transmissions. Both cars offer manuals and automatics, but the experience couldn't be more different. The Hellcat manual feels raw and old school, heavy clutch, aggressive shifts, and a sense that you're wrestling a monster. The Mustang's manual feels tighter, more refined. Shorter throws. Cleaner engagement. It feels like it was designed for drivers who actually enjoy shifting gears, not just surviving them. Automatics. The Mustang's 10-speed is quick, intelligent, and brutally efficient. The Hellcat's automatic is powerful, but less surgical. Again, power versus precision. Interior-wise, the difference becomes even clearer. The Hellcat's cabin is bold, loud, and unapologetic. Big seats. Thick steering wheel. Everything reminds you that this car was built to intimidate. The Mustang GT feels more modern. Better tech integration. Cleaner layout. More driver-focused design. It's the difference between a muscle car and a performance car that still happens to be a muscle car. Now let's talk real-world driving. Daily driving a Hellcat means constantly managing traction. Rain? Be careful. Cold tires? Dangerous. Even dry roads demand respect. The Mustang GT is easier to live with. More forgiving. More predictable. You can enjoy it without constantly worrying that the rear tires are planning a rebellion. But let's be honest, nobody buys a Hellcat for practicality. You buy it for the experience. The sound. The supercharger whine. The feeling that the car is barely contained violence. When you floor a Hellcat, the world compresses. Your senses overload. It's absurd, and that's exactly the point. The Mustang GT delivers its thrill differently. It rewards skill. It encourages improvement. It makes you feel like a better driver the more time you spend with it. So which one is better? That depends on who you are. If you want raw dominance, insane straight-line speed, and the loudest statement possible, the Hellcat is unmatched. If you want balance, control, and a car that shines everywhere, not just on drag strips, the Mustang GT is the smarter weapon. Hellcat is power without compromise. Mustang GT is precision without losing soul. One overwhelms you. The other connects with you. And that's why this rivalry will never end. Because it's not about which car is faster. It's about what kind of driver you are. Power. Or precision. And that choice? That's empty.